comes in child sacrifice, and the prophets. Hey guys, wanted to give a little context here to the statement that I made in response to Reverend Warnock, who is running in the special Senate race in Georgia next month. He's tweeted out this statement, "I am a pro-choice pastor," to which I responded and said, well, are you a pastor of Molech? Which Molech is the god of, the Canaanite god of child sacrifice, referenced many times throughout the Bible. It is where we find the origination of abortion comes in child sacrifice, and the prophets throughout Scripture have spoken out against this for a very long time. I want to read you out of the book of Jeremiah 7:31. It says, "They have built the high places of Topheth in the valley of Ben Hannim to burn their sons and daughters in the fire, something I did not command, nor did it enter my mind." He's speaking of the people of God, how they've come into agreement with child sacrifice. I mean, you can see several other times referenced in the Bible. And if you look at this practice, what they would do is they would bring their children to be sacrificed in this valley. And as they were stretching out the hands of their children to be burned to this god of the Canaanites, the priests would beat the drum so loud so that the parents, the fathers and mothers, would not be able to hear the cries of their own children as they're being slaughtered. And listen, if there's one issue that riles me up, you guys know, it is this issue of being pro-life, and as a Christian and as a leader, as a pastor, standing on the truths of the Bible. So anybody that comes against that, I will boldly, without fear, take a stand against. And I would encourage you to join me with that. Here's the life band that I've been wearing ever since DC. We're going to give those out again at Azusa Street. And now more than ever, we need to call this stuff out, and we need to take a stand for truth. We need to take a stand against this age-old god, this demonic power of Molech that has been ravaged.
Great imitator, and Satan is the one that will take the things of God and reverse them. Now I want us to think a little bit about making the children to pass through the fire and the ritual unto Molech. In Genesis chapter 15 and beginning in verse 9, we're going to see precisely the way Satan takes things and reverses them and tries to make people think that it is the things of God, doing exactly different than what God said to do. In Genesis chapter 15, beginning in verse 9, "And he said unto him, Take me a heifer of 3 years." This is the father commanding Abraham. "And a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds he divided not." Now, in this sacrifice, we see Abraham dividing the sacrifice. And in the ritual of Moloch, the fire was divided and not the sacrifice. In the godly ritual, we will see the fire passing in the midst of the sacrifice. In the satanic ritual, we see the victim passing in between the fire. It's an exact reversal, and taking the things of God, reversing it, and saying, oh, it must be a Jesus tree. In verse 11, as soon as Abraham